back. We're going to paint up the cameraman's AK-47 here. Recently seen in a video. Some basic things you're going to need. Any kind of gloves to keep that nasty paint off your hand. You're going to need foam earplugs. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Be curious. We've got masking tape so you can tape off anything you don't want painted. Cotton balls. Paper towel, paint. I recommend this Hunter Specialty paint. Any kind of enamel-based paint is going to be better than like a Krylon paint. Going to give you a lot more durability. It's going to be impervious to your gun oils and things like that. It's just going to stand up real good. Been using it for years. Start light to dark, depending on what you're doing. We're doing woodland here, so we're going to start with light tan, go up to the black. We'll talk about that, walk you guys through every single phase. And when you start off, you're going to want to strip off any grease or anything like that. Some people use lighter fluid. We're just going to put an elbow grease on it today and just kind of get at it. So let's get after it, and we'll do this step by step. Okay, so first things first, degrease the thing, get all your finger oils and things like that off it. Anything that's going to rub, like this internal thing here, we're going to take and collapse this down, because we don't want to put paint on that because it's going to make it more rigid. It's going to peel off anyway. I mean, you don't have to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and recommend it. You're going to want to strip all the hardware, like this muzzle device, off. We took off the tack light he had. We took off the optic, which brings us down to the muzzle crown. This is something that is a good old trick of mine. I don't know why more people don't show this, but here we go. Now I'm here to show you guys. Pardon all the carbon buildup. Foam earplug, any kind you would get anywhere. Down the barrel. Don't shove it all the way down. Put it down like yay far. And let her expand just like it would in your ear canal. What that's going to do is that's going to fill that up, so you're not going to get paint down the barrel. So your barrel is going to be intact. And then we're going to take some masking tape and we're going to tape around the threads on the barrel. So that's going to keep that safe. Other things we're going to masking tape on: front sight blade. I personally am going to do the bolt here. Anywhere where we think we might get it back into the weapon, we're going to go ahead and masking tape off that. And here's a big one: anything that's rubber, like this has a rubber pistol grip on it. Thought were hard plastic, yeah, good to go. It's going to stick to that. It ain't going to stick to that rubber real good. So anything that's rubber, plastic, polymer, good to go. Rubber, not good to go. So we're going to tape on those. It'll just look better. It'll hold up better over time. Here's the cameraman, and he is shaking the ever-loving snot out of these things. So it's important to avoid drips, running, clumps, and to really get that enamel mixed all in with the paint. So just go to town, and like I said, do it until you think you're done, then do it for like another 30 seconds. So I think you're looking for like a couple of minutes straight of shaking vigorously. Okay, so here we are. We got the foam earplug in the end here. We've taped up over all the threads and anything. We taped up the bolt, put a little tape on the backside of the safety, the grip here, which is rubber, the buttstock, which is rubber, the trigger horn, all that stuff. So we pretty much taped up anything that we didn't want to paint on. And yeah, so now we're good to go. We degrease this. By the way, I've seen some people saying use like different degreasers and stuff like that. You want to be real careful to use something that's not going to leave residue. So you can't go wrong with like a lighter fluid or something like that that's going to evaporate very quickly. Rubbing alcohol, something like that. I would not recommend using something like Fast Orange or something like that, or Goo Gone, because that actually is going to leave residue on there. It's going to actually work against you on the back side of that paint long term. So stay away from that stuff. Do yourself a favor, and yeah, just put a little elbow grease in with some rubbing alcohol, something like that. So. Okay, so we're at the cameraman's house here. We got a pretty main road right behind us, so pardon any vehicle noises we have. You're going to start with the lightest stuff you've got. So we're going to start with the tan. And this is going to be our pretty much fullest coat that we're going to do. I'm holding it by the tip here that I've got all painted up, and the butt also, which is not getting painted, is on the ground. You're in a well-ventilated area, and you're not going to hold it in close and just douse it. You're going to go back a ways and just kind of give it a couple test fires, and we're just going to put nice light coats. Beautiful thing about this rattle paint is that long term, you get any dings or anything like that in these, really not that big of a deal. You can just paint over it later. Okay, so you can kind of see it's not super thick right now. It's just kind of you can kind of see the black coming through in spots. What we're going to do is we're going to take like a 10-minute breather now, and again, I'm just holding where I've taped, and we're just going to let this cure and just semi-dry just for like 10 minutes. So got the brown now because we're the next color up. So now we're just going to go really light with the brown. We're not going to go as thick with the brown as we did with the tan. Kind of less is more with this stuff. And every layer we put on is going to be a little thinner than the one previous to it. So I'm almost happy with this one actually. Now we're on to the green. And the last one. This is again, nice strokes. Stay a little ways away from the gun. And you determine how much green you want to have on it and what you want this to look like. But all these colors, because after this phase, we're going to let it sit actually for close to an hour before we come back and do the stenciling part, which we'll show you that too. Really, this whole process it's not too bad. It's not super involved. It's just have fun with it. I mean, I guess is the important part. Just have fun with it, and don't be afraid of what happens. And it's paint, man. So it's definitely you're not going to do anything you cannot do with this paint. Okay, so prime the can. So we just wrap some of this around here. We're going to go plenty of ways back and just go really light with it. Like I said, sometimes less is more with this stuff. Nice and easy pulling it off. This will give you that kind of a little bit of a camo pattern. And we're going to continue to camo this up as we want through the whole gun. And yeah, we'll check back with you here in a minute. Okay, here we are at the cameraman's workshop. The job is all done. So we've got the muzzle brake all done, the rifle all done. And what we're going to do is we're going to go for a hike for about an hour and just let that cure up. So it's going to be about a week for it to completely cure, but we want to give it about an hour before we start taking off the tape and stuff, so we don't booger up all the work we just did. So our time, we'll see you in about an hour, hour and a half. Your time, we'll see you in a couple minutes. Alright guys, so here we are at the scene of the crime where we did all the work. So now it's time to pick up. Now one of the most important things we can remember, because we want to be able to reuse these cans, right, to touch our project up later. We drop it. I mean, it is a rifle that's meant to be used right out in the woods, things like that. It's not a mantelpiece at all. So that being the case, we want to use these later. So a tip on this, you got to tip it upside down and deploy the can, and you'll hear the difference and you'll see the difference. See that? So what we did is we just flushed all of the paint out of the tube. Otherwise, what's going to happen is this is going to get solidified in there. This is an enamel-based paint, so this would be a single-use can if you don't flip it upside down, flush it out. Basically, just deploy it until the paint stops flowing, and all you hear is the propellant, just like that. And then we cap them off, and we're good to go to use these in the future when we're ready. Alrighty, so here we are. I got her all painted up. So she's all done. Except for the tape on the safety. We've got all the tape pulled off and everything, got the muzzle device back on and all that. So now she's just got to harden up and sit here for the next week or so. But other than that, the job is done. As you can see, anybody can do this. So yeah, that's our I guess basic tutorial on how to paint your AK-47. So thanks for joining the Maniac guy and the cameraman for the cameraman's rifle project, and have a good one. And until next time, we'll see you then. Have a good one.